If you're looking for safe and reliable grinding services, hit up Cliff2_3 on Twitter. Hey, what's good, man? RC the Great back with another video. I finally got around to cutting up the footage from the 250K qualifiers this past Saturday. Wanted to just show you guys some of my experience, some of the games I played, some of my opponents. And as you guys know, or may not know, it's tons of error codes before we even started the game. So I was sitting here for about 15-20 minutes just trying to get into the game. Tons of error codes, and we finally got in. But this is the team that we went in with: Drew Holiday, James Harden, Melo, Anthony Davis, and Jokic. And I usually put Josh Smith in as my starting center if I needed to replace Jokic. I tried not to use my bench. I tried to just run people out of the gym as much as possible, but some games were longer than others. Starting with this first one, we matched up against our first opponent, Stunner, who is more of a competitive style player in the community. And I knew it was going to be a tough game. And then I took a second look at who was on the court, and I was like, Stephen Curry. Hold up, there's no Stephen Currys in my team right now that would be good enough to compete in qualifiers. So he must have free agents on his team. And I was right. Stunner had free agent Curry, free agent Dominique Wilkins, Giannis, and then he had more free agents on his bench along with Anthony Davis, James Harden, and some other players. So this was going to be a tough game, and I already knew it was. So we had to get out, fire on all cylinders. I noticed he was lagging to start the game. I thought I was going to be able to run away with it. Then the next play, I was also lagging. I couldn't control any of my plays. We're running all over the place. Gives up an open three. And I told myself, there's no way I want to lose the first game in qualifiers. We're down 2 in the second quarter. He's pressing. Every card that he has like Hall of Fame clamps. They're all over the place. We have to make something happen. We get lucky with a white here, able to go up by 1. But then he comes down and hits a leaning shot with Mutombo to push his lead up to 1 going into halftime. Once again, I'm telling myself, there's no way I can lose the first game. So we got to get the ball to our guy, Melo, who we just got. We grinded to level 40 for this dude, so we had to get the ball in his hand to make him a threat. Every single time Melo touched the ball, he was very beneficial for us, but we end up giving up a 3-pointer in the fourth quarter. As you can see, we weren't shooting that good of a percentage. His team's defense was just crazy with all those free agents out there, but Donovan Mitchell was able to hit that one right there. And we were able to put our defensive lineup in after this play because he was kind of boxed. He didn't know what to do. He calls a timeout right here, and we go right into our subs, and we put our defensive lineup in. We get ML Carr in the game, Grant Hill, Anthony Davis, Wilt Chamberlain, and Drew Holiday out there, which enables us to get the stop that we needed in the fourth quarter. We force a shot clock violation, giving us the ball back, which was huge in this game. And then we were able to actually put our offensive squad back in and get a couple buckets. So right here, we get the shot clock violation. James Harden still made that shot. That would have been crazy. I would have honestly been tucked if that went in and it wasn't a shot clock. So we call timeout right here, and we put our offensive team back in. So in close games, I do defense to offense subs. I'm not going to just leave certain players in the game in certain moments. You got to be strategic. So I needed to win this game. We get Grant Hill back in the game with Jokic to get that pick and pop going. He runs out to the pop, and we get Grant Hill inside for an easy dunk. And that gives us the 2-point cushion that we needed. He tries to get by our Jokic with his AD, and Jokic gets the nice block. Jokic doesn't always block things, but when he does, it definitely is a surprise. James Harden misses the fast break 3 that would have actually ended the game, and his Dominique Wilkins does a double clutch dunk that I thought was going to get blocked, but he gets it off. Right here, we see Jokic in the corner. Weren't able to take the shot, but he gets inside for an easy bucket. We're just trying to survive this game so that we can get further in this tournament. He makes a mistake and jumps at a 3-point shot, leaving Jokic open once again inside. And then finally, we get the last stop we needed with the AD block, giving us the ball back, and he has to foul. That's the end of the game. We end up winning this game by 6 points after the free throws, and we start off in 319th place by only getting 110 points that game. Those free agent cards were incredibly difficult to play against. But as we got further in the tournament, we started matching up against teams with regular players, not tons of free agents, and we began to flood every single person we came up against. People were quitting over and over, and we started to really ramp up in what ranking we were in. Right here, we boost up to 112th place, getting 88 points for that game. And we see I'm Just Isaac, Dunk God, everyone out in front of us. And we have to keep getting into these games as fast as possible so that we can boost our points and try to get up into first place. Right here, we get ready to play against Kicks the Champ. And he told me later in the game that he watches my YouTube, but I felt like he was stalling me. This is how his possession was, the first possession. So I knew it wasn't going to be a tough game. He's just passing the ball all around, and he gets a kind of like a fluke bucket that it kind of made me mad, because every single time somebody scores in 250, it's like taking some of your points away. You want to beat them by as many points as possible. You can see right there that step back three by Carmelo Anthony. We wanted to get the ball to Melo as much as possible so that we can get easy baskets. Melo can hit from deep, he can drive to the basket. Everything he does just makes it easier because the game mode is on pro, so it's not very difficult to shoot. So we wanted to get the ball in Melo's hands every single possession in this qualifier. We end up going up 30-4 in the first quarter. This guy does not quit. I finally hop on the mic and I'm like, yo bro, why are you still in this game? And then he's like, yo, I watch your YouTube, why are you doing this to me, man? You shouldn't be doing this. And I'm like, bro, if you watch my YouTube and you support me, then you should be getting up out of here, because you're losing by almost 40 points. Staying in this game ain't doing nothing. And he actually left the game, which is dope. And we end up getting 175 points for that game. Boost us up to 41st place. And we have to jump right into another game. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see myself getting closer. And then we match up with Hulk 24/7. This guy was decent, but also ended up being down 52-14. ML Carr started to show his prowess in these games. This dude, ML Carr, is incredible when the game mode is on pro, because you don't have to worry about his shooting, but he steals every single thing. He had like 15 points this game. He ended up with like 7 steals. So I kept him on the court, and then I started using him in other games as well. He was easy to green within this mode because you don't have to worry about shooting. Shooting is easy. So we end up winning 80-20 because ML Carr was literally stealing every single pass out there, and we end up being in 13th place, and we start to see that top 10 getting closer and closer. And this is the game right here that really pushed us to the top. Against this guy, Mr. Just, we get that easy dunk with Jokic to start the game. AD bullying inside. We're up 11-0 to start the first quarter. And then we get more and more steals, continuing to push the lead higher and higher, just trying to pad that lead over and over and over, not letting up. That's kind of you have to play in qualifiers like that. No mercy, because you want to win by as many points as possible. At the end of second quarter, we end up winning 51-7. And at the end of the game, we are winning by literally 90 points, 106-16. So we beat this guy by 90 points. James Harden went crazy, and we end up boosting ourselves to first place with a 325-point game. But we didn't want to stop there. We see Splash was in second place behind us. I was actually watching him stream at the same time. And we match up against a pretty decent opponent, Adonis. I do think he follows me on Twitter. Very cool dude. Ends up beating me in the first quarter, winning by 3 points, but we had to come back, bring the defense out, and we started to push the lead ahead. He didn't stop us here on the fast break 3. We know we're stopping, popping with James Harden, and then we started to take off. I noticed he had his Larry Bird on my Anthony Davis, and we're not going to let that fly. That is barbecue chicken all day inside. So I utilized that mismatch on a lot of my possessions where the play wasn't really working or something, so I had to get inside. And then once again, ML Carr just started going crazy on the defensive end, standing dunks. Like, this guy was literally the star of qualifiers for me. I feel like he was the best player on my team on the court at all times because of how he affected the game defensively. He stole everything. He was in every single lane, and he greened every single shot. I didn't have to worry about shooting with him because the game mode was on easy. You know what I mean? When you're playing qualifiers, you got to use the team based on the mode you're playing on. It's not on Hall of Fame, so just utilize who you can. And ML Carr was definitely out there for blood. So we end up winning that game as well. We're in third place at this time. You see MJ's TV up there. Shout out to him. Splash is still in third place. And then your boy RCA with the big guns. You know, we can definitely run with the big guns out here. We are playing. We're trying to get to first place again. Find our next matchup, and we're up 14-0 in the first quarter. We know we're going to win this game by a lot of points. Hopefully the guy quits, and we end up coming up the court, hitting another three with Carmelo Anthony from deep, going up 20-0. Shout out to this guy because he had enough and he ends up quitting the game and leaving. That's what you want to happen in qualifiers, and we end up being in first place once again. We have 1,195 points. We're right in front of Splashy, who ended up being the first ranked qualifier in this qualifier. Luckily, because I'll let you guys know at the end of the video what ended up happening. So we're playing in this game Fresh Prince G23. He's losing 22-9 in the second quarter, throwing the ball right to me. We're baiting different passes, trying to make him do things to get us the ball more for some more buckets. See right here, my man Drew Holiday, one of my favorite point guards in the game right now, hits a three and just continues to push our lead higher and higher. We end up being up 38-15 in the third quarter. This is another guy that just does not quit the game. He stays in the game for pretty much the entirety. But we're just trying to make him work, for every single basket, because every basket that you give up in qualifiers just takes your points down a little bit more. We got ML Carr there, once again, getting the steals, and we're just hitting shots quickly. We're trying to play quick offense. We don't want these to be close games. This is not methodical games. You're only going to play methodical games if you're playing against a competitive style player. That's the only time. But if you're playing against somebody that you should smoke, you need to be trying to score every single time down the court. So that was the last game I was able to play. The next game I was winning by 30, and then my power went out and we weren't able to finish it, sadly. I was in first place, winning. I was in front of Splash by over 100 points, and he ended up being the first ranked qualifier. So I do think there was only about a 45 minutes to an hour left. Based on how things were going, 2-3 games left, I feel like I would have been in the top 4. So we're definitely going to be back in November to try this out again. I'm very happy with how things went. My team played well. I understood what I needed to change to get better in qualifier. So we will be looking for November 27th. But yeah, shout out to Splash. Shout out to everybody that qualified. I will be back in the next tournament. Hopefully things go well, and I will make sure I got a backup generator or something, because I can't let the power go out again, man. We can't go out like that. I'll catch y'all in the next video, man. Peace.